All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome for Love of Health Web Show. Laura Baum here, your host, and we are talking with our monthly live stream guest. The whole point of the show, the question that drives the whole series and why we even do what we're doing is the question, can, you know, business be the most health promoting venture? How can we really marry health with business? And, it's coming from a place as, of course, someone who's had chronic illness for quite some time and developing a business, Laura's Botanicals. And I really just wanted to answer that question. And so I bring on guest experts who can talk about either their holistic health businesses or how they've done business in a holistic way, or strategies that support business to do business in a more healthy way. So we are here with Brandon Drake tonight, and he is a CRM consultant. So that's customer relations management for those who are like, what's that? And he believes that technology should strengthen human connection, not replace it. He transforms cluttered, confusing CRMs into simple, relationship driven systems. You hear me talk about that a lot because we have to organize, but we also have to make sure our relationships are moving forward. And he helps people follow through, stay organized, and build trust at scale. So his overall mission, what he does, is turn your CRM into a true engine for connection, efficiency, and growth in the digital age. Hey, welcome, Brandon.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We're excited to have this conversation. So we have some questions that were brought in by you for this conversation, as well as from our audience this week as we
Sweet.
promoted the conversation. So because this literally could go in a million different ways, right? I
Yeah.
mean, an endless conversation, building relationships, building sales, predictability, right?
Mhm.
So how do most people currently track and follow up with the people they meet, and what usually goes wrong?
Yeah, usually, a lot of people come to me because they've grown out of their existing setup. A lot of times they're either using a notebook or a spreadsheet, and it's not doing the job appropriately because they know they're missing out on opportunities. They know because of that they're not following up, and because of that, those opportunities are missed, and you don't have a system in place. So that's probably one of the common things. But everybody starts somewhere. Like, we all need to start with a notebook or a spreadsheet. And then when we start growing, which is a really good thing, like we grow out of that and we'll naturally see that for ourselves because we're unorganized, we're inefficient, and because of that, that justifies now moving up to the next level of the game of having a CRM, the proper CRM that's right for you. So yeah, I think one of the books I was reading, Atomic Habits by James Clear, he said you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So it's really true to form because if you don't have a system in place, you're never going to be consistent in accomplishing your goals. You're never going to be consistent in following up and meeting those, like everybody has to make a living. And having that CRM allows you to keep that follow-up strong while maintaining good relationships. Because when you maintain good relationships with your business partners, customers, or prospects, opportunities are going to arise when you have that right system in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like
Mhm.
what, 11 or 12 follow-ups now required for any kind of thing that's
Yeah.
going into it. So it's
Mhm.
really I do kind of sometimes keep track of things, or like even me as a customer, right? And that's what I help people identify too. I'm like, when was the last time you tried to buy something or you reached out to someone and you never heard from them, right? And it just kind of fell through. And what happens? You find something else to fit its place. So it's like definitely you can see the evidence everywhere that people might not have CRMs or they might not be using it as a system, like you say. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what is the best CRM? Like, what's the real answer to that question? Because I do hear that quite a bit. People aren't very happy with the ones they have, or maybe they're not using it right.
Yeah, what's the best CRM is there's no black and white answer to that. But I tell people don't don't take the best CRM based on what your business partner says or what a customer says or somebody in your network says. Just because it's good for them doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you. So you really have to be really thoughtful in terms of like, what are your business needs? What are your challenges? What is your budget? I ask a lot of questions when I'm determining like what could be a good CRM for a particular individual. It's very personalized. It's kind of like ice cream flavors. Some people like chocolate, vanilla, mocha almond fudge, Neapolitan. Everybody's different. So I need to really understand their business, understand their challenges, their goals, and their budget, and then I'll be able to make a recommendation on the proper CRM. So I have four CRMs in my tool belt that I know very well. Like if it's a good fit based on budget and business and their personality type, yeah, I'll tell them, hey, this is the CRM that's right for you. And if it's not a CRM that's in my tool belt, I'll recommend them to somebody else because I have other CRM professionals in my network that could be a better fit for them because I understand that not everybody is a good fit for me in terms of the right CRM solution that I have to offer. And that's what I want to do for my clients. So like you really have to be really thoughtful in terms of like how you want to run your business. And I have actually a guide called like choosing the right CRM, and it talks about the most important components and factors you should be looking and taking into consideration when choosing the right CRM, not just having somebody tell
Love
you
it.
it's a good CRM.
I love that. We should put that. We should definitely put that resource in the
Yeah,
notes of this episode
we'll
because
do.
I
Mhm.
mean sometimes people just even don't even know what their goals are, what they should be, right? Like what to prioritize if they don't know quite like they know like the end goal, the ideal, but maybe not all the rungs to get to there. So and this is highly technical. Like to break it completely down, a CRM is this like technological platform usually,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Where like you keep contacts and the contacts move from like one stage to another in a
Correct.
relationship with the ideal being like sales. Although I think I explained it earlier in an email to promote this today that like it could be like a nonprofit or it could be like what if you have a wedding? A CRM could be very relationship based just to get to the end goal of whatever project you're working on. So
Yeah,
am
and it's not
I
even sales too. It could be like establishing relationships with your business partners. And those business partners aren't necessarily people you're selling to, but as you get to know them better and foster that relationship, they end up knowing, liking, and trusting you, and they end up preferring you. So, in a way, they're giving you indirect sales. So there's multiple ways to generate opportunities, not only just from a customer or a prospect, but from your business partners that you foster a relationship with. Because once you get to know them better and better, they'll end up liking you, remembering you. You stay top of mind because the CRM is supposed to keep people top of mind. And if they do, then you're doing it right and they'll remember you and they'll refer you, and that generates business too as well.
definitely a good way of like how I like how you flip it to more of a relationship driven type of system versus one that's just keeping track of sales or contacts because that can become very cold very quick and I don't mean like by the sales approach I mean like it's just it feels emotionally not really imperative or anything any kind of vision and part or intentionality
Mm.
so you know how does a crm help someone become like a stronger more strategic networker so something outside that realm of sales.
Yeah, so you know, I help my clients do this, and I obviously implement it myself. Like whatever I implement for myself, I take that strategy and implement it for that particular individual, but in a different way because we're all different and unique. But a really good framework for being a strong networking partner is being able to make sure to follow up with your good business partners. Also, too, remembering who they are and what they're all about, like saving like their professional bio in your CRM so that you could properly represent them accordingly when you make introductions for them. Because we don't remember everybody's bio in our mind, but to have that stored in the CRM helps you remember what they do and what they're all about, what their professional bio is, who their target market is, who their strategic partners are, who the pain points that they solve are. Like I have that information saved into my CRM so I could easily find people to connect that individual to because I have their bio saved. And also too, not only that, like within my CRM that I do for myself and for my clients, like I implement something called engagement scoring that basically just measures how active a person is. So for example, are they opening up your emails? Are they replying to your emails? Are they giving you referrals? Are they submitting forms? Are they unsubscribing? Are they subscribing? All those activities can be measured by the CRM and you could assign points to it. So in a way, you're kind of gamifying like who's truly active, who's truly engaging. So at the end of the day, or maybe after a couple months, you could see the people that are going to rise to the top by based on their score, based on what they're doing, because you can't keep track of everything. But now you're measuring how engaging a person is. So a networking partner that has a high score, well, that just tells me that that person is going to be a really good networking partner that really does care about what I'm doing because they're looking at my material and they're being awarded accordingly. So now I can focus my efforts on those people that are more likely to be really good referral partners. And that also applies to my prospects. Like engagement scoring is being implemented on them because everybody that comes in the system is being graded. So those people or the prospects that have a higher score, those people are warmer prospects because they're looking at your material compared to the people that have a low score. So now you can make more data-informed decisions over who to focus focus your efforts on so that you could focus your energy and relationship building on those people that are giving you that same energy.
I love that data informed. That's really, I love how you explained it. It's totally drawn out. I think I read recently you only have a capacity for a certain number of actual relationships in our life, right? But
Mhm.
so in that way, we are limited in our capacity, but you can remember to create a procedure to go to the CRM so that no matter what, you can reference the information and then, like you said, use some kind of analysis and grading system to figure out which relationships are the ones that are really actually help happening in front of you that are going to be worthwhile to keep going with. So
Yeah,
that's
and
really
with the scoring too, it's a holistic score, meaning yes, the system is grading them based on their activities, but I am also interacting with them and grading them too. Like I have keywords associated with people. They're called tags or just keywords. So I have like business savvy or health oriented or genuine or personable, salesy, like that's a negative word. So I have a set of keywords that are mine that are associated with positive and negative points. Obviously, salesy, you get negative points. Relationship driven, you get positive points. So I have my own list of keywords that are associated with positive and negative points. So therefore, not only is the system scoring them, but I'm also scoring them based on the keywords associated with them, therefore creating a holistic score of that particular individual.
yeah, that makes total sense. That and
Mm.
it's really a great way to inform you, like because there's only so much capacity you have for in-person relationships or real
Yeah.
relationships. So it's like you have this place that contains the information, and then you can create some kind of like mechanism to regularly check the CRM and to engage in the relationships that are the ones that feel the most aligned at the moment, right? And for the
Yeah.
purpose.
And if you have like 100 contacts,
Mhm.
like if you don't have a system in place, you're probably gonna remember two or three people that are like really come top of mind.
Yeah.
But when you have that scoring, you'll be able to see, oh yeah, this person's really high. Oh, they're really looking at my emails. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna make sure to look at their information and contribute to their growth too as well because they're really interested in what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, the old postcard, right? It's like the more intentional we write things down and write it out, we feel the energy of certain relationships. We know that certain ones are more of high priority than others, but it sounds like we can do that at a larger scale when we have an actual like database
Mhm.
and a scalable feature, like you're saying. So,
Mhm.
what are some of the biggest business mistakes that business owners are making with their CRM, and how can they fix them? I'm asking some
Yeah.
juicy questions today. We are going real deep with you. Thank you for being here and doing all that with
Yeah.
us.
Well, the first one, I mean, this is a hard one, and the way to fix it is, I kind of touched on it when people are not using the right criteria to choose a CRM. So they'll listen to their network. Oh, I'm using this CRM. Oh, not this. Well, and they'll listen to them, and it ends up being the wrong choice, and they're just throwing money out down the drain, and it's just the wrong CRM. Obviously, you have to change CRMs and talk to somebody that could actually guide you accordingly. So there needs to be more careful and thoughtful planning. Also, too, like another thing that people do is they just use it like a basic digital address book, and there's really nothing else that they're using it for. Like there's more features in a CRM that you need to leverage, like the email marketing, tagging people with keywords so you can send more segmented, targeted messages that are going to resonate with people or whatnot. Like the data has to be really clean in terms of how you're going to do your email marketing because a lot of people do spray and pray marketing where they send the same message to everybody. And that's going to cause people to unsubscribe. And they're like, is he or she sending this to me? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So when you start tagging and categorizing your people, your contacts, you can send more targeted messages that are going to give you higher engagement. And when you have higher engagement, it's actually going to reward your email because when you get unsubscribes and you're sending to incorrect email address, the email service providers are going to downgrade you and actually your reputation is going to go down. And when your reputation goes down, your email deliverability goes down. So you could have like 50 really good contacts and like 10 bad contacts and you're sending them an email and those 10 contacts are like, why is this person sending me an email? They unsubscribe. That ruins your reputation. And so now those 10 contacts have ruined your email reputation. So even if you send to the contacts that know, like, and trust you, the email service providers might delegate you into the spam or promotions folder so they'll never see the messages. So things like that
Yeah.
is like really important. Though you have to be when you build your list, you have to really ethically build your list and segment it according to what people are truly interested in.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should be doing that from day one too. It's
Yes.
not something to, I think people don't
Foundational.
think they're going to be, I think when they're starting out, they're like, I'm not going to have that many leads. It's going to be a slow build. And then they end up getting a lot, catching a lot of enthusiasm and attraction. And then then the systems you just kind of fall into it. But I think it's best just to right off the gate say, you know what, let's start with a really healthy relationship based system with segments, and so that you can really test those products and get them out in the past the ideation
Mhm.
phase and really know which ones you want to continue with. But there's a lot to that too. I think relationships are so important even now with so many touches because people are not just in one place. They're not just on their email list. Now they're on Instagram, they're on social media. So having it all in one place with all these different aspects of a person is like crucial, right?
hmm hmm Yeah, and a
Yeah.
lot of the CRMs in my tool belt do multiple things. Like they have a social media scheduler, they have an email campaign functionality. You could create landing pages, you could do surveys, you could do forms, you could create a QR code, you could do a virtual business card. Like a lot of the CRMs in my tool belt are able to do that. So now, like a lot of people could cut down on their tech stack of using all these different apps to consolidate into one or less systems because with less systems creates more simplicity, creates more efficiency, and contributes to your growth because you're not getting confused over like where is this at?
Yeah.
Where is this at? And having data in multiple places is just a recipe for disaster. Like you want
Right.
one single source of truth, and a CRM is that good single source of truth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so essential. Um, Absolutely, absolutely. So, how does a well-designed CRM actually strengthen human connection instead of replacing it?
Yeah, so the CRM allows you to remember people's details so you could have a better human conversations with people. And also too, what I like about technology in general and just CRMs allows you to automate or streamline different processes and procedures so that you don't have to be in the weeds doing all this manual work. And because of that, now you have more time to be human. And the more time to be human and engage with your business contacts, like your prospects, customers, and business partners, that is your biggest differentiator for you to be human to all and interact with all your contacts because that's going to set you apart from everybody else. Like me and you, there's thousands of people that do what we do, but if we have our systems in place, now we have more time to engage, and that's our biggest differentiating factor that's going to generate business for us. So yes, that's why I like technology, not because for the main reason is allows me to have more time to be human. That's really what it comes down to. And being human and being who you are is your biggest differentiating factor in your business, period. Like, yeah, I have
Absolutely.
CRMs. Other people have CRMs too,
Right.
but it's my genuineness that shows out in me like talking to people, engaging with people, and th that's what's going to attract the right people to you and generate business.
100%, 100%. 2026 is definitely looking to be the year of movements and personal branding and brand-led
Yeah.
sales. So you can't really do that if you're stretching yourself so thin with operations. So that just and back end. This you have to have that engine and that organization there. I totally appreciate that for sure. And so the questions today that came from our community
Ooh,
is
I can't wait.
automations actually.
Yeah.
So the automations, first of all, they said that CRM is a great tool for client management. So we got a nice little,
Mhm.
sense of approval. And it is. I love CRM. I think it's very important. And I definitely put lots of information in the CRM, especially with opt-ins, because like I think nowadays people kind of forget what they opted into. And so the more you can have organized and the way you can say, well, this is the resource you opted into, the better they're going to remember and be reminded by you as to what it is that they're actually interested in. That's so it's pretty crucial. And she asked, I have a challenge with marketing automation. So do you have something is this branching out into that? I think you just kind of covered it a little bit, but is there something else you could add about that?
Marketing automation. So some people, so I'll just say some of the general things that I've seen that people are doing incorrectly, like with the marketing automation. Like, so for example, an example of automation is somebody fills out the form. to subscribe to your newsletter or download a lead magnet, whatever. Either way, there's automations behind the scenes. So they're basically exchanging information to get something of value, whether it's a newsletter or a
Yeah.
lead magnet. Obviously, they get the lead magnet immediately, and some of the mistakes is some of those people that are operating the CRM are sending way too many messages. Like I've seen it.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen it and it turns people off and they end up unsubscribing and that actually messes up your email reputation. So like
Yeah.
make sure you create a cadence that's not overbearing. Like I'll tell you my cadence, like somebody decides to opt into my newsletter for CRMs and business efficiency, they probably get an email like I think it's like every 25 or 30 days. Like it's not overwhelming. Like
Oh, wow.
I have
Yeah.
some people that are like every other day or every day. I'm
Every
like,
day.
dude, that's
Every
way
day.
too much. Look, it's way too much. And I make sure I pack it with value. Like some of these people that they download my lead magnet, like choosing the right CRM guide. Obviously, they'll get the guide. And then I think like 4 days later, they'll get a survey saying, "Hey, let me know what you think of it. What could be improved? What did you like? What's the next topic that you would like me to talk about?" Because that's actually really important to ask the users what they want, not what you think they want, but what you want. So now I have a database of all the answers of like the next lead magnet I'm going to create. I do that for my workshop as well when I'm nurturing people. Always have a survey to collect what your people think. And then now based on what you think, that's the next step that you're gonna do because it's gonna resonate with that audience or whatnot. So yeah, I have the survey, and then probably like I don't email them so much again. Again, it's a matter of like find out what cadence is good for you and your not actually for you, but for your audience, where it doesn't
No, that's
create
a really good point. It's not something
annoyingness.
that we generally see spelled out a lot. How often and what should it feel like? So I like that you're bringing it back to the individual business and how they construct their business and what's appropriate for them, which is
Mhm.
how we started the conversation. The CRM that's best for you is one base that's right for your business. So there has to be a bit of an assessment there and a little bit of an
Yeah.
analyzing to figure out the right choice. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate
And I
that
think
advice.
the people that are very transactional, they're very quantity oriented. So they'll send, 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 send. The people that are
So
into quality, relationship driven, that each email is thoughtful. They want to provide value. Therefore, you don't have to send a email every day. It could be every 20 days, every 30 days, but it's packed with good value to teach them something that they could benefit from. And at the very end, I always have, hey, if you want to learn more, feel free to book a meeting with me or reply to this email. I give them those two options. Down the line, some of those people will book a meeting with me, and it turns into a really thoughtful conversation because they've been looking at my material and they have more thoughtful questions, and we have a more thoughtful conversation,
yeah.
which leads to business
Yeah.
down the line. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great workshop idea. Just going through and creating your automation for an opt-in. I mean, because I could see how someone would be like, well, it's an automation. I can do as many emails as I want. I'm like, yeah, but that's you still want to have it feel very significant and thoughtful. And yeah, there's a lot to that. So I really appreciate you saying that for sure. So how
Mhm.
did you get into CRMs and what made you feel like CRMs was the thing that you were going to help businesses with?
Yeah, so actually, I didn't think that. I never thought I'd be where I'm at today because I never thought I'd be in the CRM world. So what happened is, I used to work for a CRM company. I was a data migration specialist. Whenever they signed up a new client, my job was to take all their data from the different systems and migrate it into a CRM. And it was very important because what good is your CRM if you don't have the right data in it? But when the company got bought out, everything changed where it became very transactional. That's why I say I'm a relationship-driven CRM professional. I do not want to deal with any types of severely transactional companies or whatnot. It just doesn't align with me because that's the experience that I had where I left, and I don't want to come back to that. So essentially, I got to the point where I was working 10 to 12 hours a day just to meet my new quota that I had to meet, and for 6 months straight, I just couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't sustainable. So I thought to myself at this time, I don't want to do technology ever again. I'm done with it. And here I am in technology. But what happened is I quit my job. I went to holistic nutrition and culinary arts school. I went to functional nutrition school. I became a therapeutic personal chef and a functional nutritionist, and I enjoyed it. It made me a better person, to be honest with you, because I was more on about the relationship driven side because I was always in a transactional work environment. But that made me a better person. I discovered networking, and through networking, one of my networking partners said, "Hey, you're really good with CRMs. Could I hire you as a consultant?" Because I never stopped using CRMs behind the scenes. I just didn't. I wasn't a service provider for it anymore. But he recognized that skill set. I wanted to say no because I was happy in the health space. but he was a good networking partner of mine, and so I said, okay, I'll do it for a month, and that's it. I actually, during that process, I renewed my enjoyment for technology because with him and his team, it was more relationship driven. It's not about the numbers. It wasn't about quota, and I could take my time and get to know him, and that's how I like working with people, you know. And because of that, I renewed my enjoyment for it. I did a good job for him. I actually ended up working for more than a month. For I worked for 3.5 months with him. I did a good job for him. I trained him and his team. They no longer need me anymore because I trained them and they're self-sufficient. I enjoy that a lot. And so I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, great, I did a good job. I go back into the health space. What happened is he started referring me business for more CRM clients. I started taking it on. I got to the point where I was working 10 to 12 hours again because I was a personal chef, a functional nutrition coach, and a CRM consultant. I said, if I could clone myself, I would do all these things, but I can't. And I actually chose being a CRM consultant. I told my business partners and my networking partners, hey, I'm going back to technology because I already developed a good relationship with him using my CRM skills of developing relationships. They still supported me, and some of my networking partners became my customers because I was always nurturing relationships with them, and they already knew, liked, and trusted me. So my network made it easy for me to transition back into the technology world. But now I get to do it in a relationship-driven type way, which is the type of way I worked in the health space. Because in order to be a good practitioner, a good therapeutic personal chef, it's all about asking questions, understanding their challenges, and building something that's custom for them. And I take that same model and I approach it into the technology space, except with
Yeah,
technology.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing. I mean, I think that it's a perfect fit for the show because we're just trying to answer that one question. Can business, be an ultimate health promoting venture? I think the myth out there is that it's not. So I really like to say no to the doubters and say things can be super healthy and meaningful, and it could be a wonderful source of income and impact and really
Hmm.
making a difference. So thank you, Brandon, for being on here
Yeah.
today and sharing and educating us so much on of what and how to navigate CRMs and how to start with them. Really, thanks so much for showing up and giving us your thoughts today and resources.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I shared that resources in the chat with the pick the right CRM. So yeah.
We'll make sure to put it in the notes. Thank you so
Cool.
much for sharing that. We'll
Awesome.
make sure everybody gets that healthydataguide.com slash choosing dash the right choosing dash the dash right dash CRM just for our audio listeners who aren't going to be watching but just listening. So definitely go get that free resource from Brandon so that you can again assess your business to match the right CRM to it. So that's really a
Cool.
crucial part of this conversation. Thanks, Brandon. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too. Goodbye.
Thanks.